Here we are, folks. Another great week here on the Bailey Pod. Just real quick, before we get into the show tonight, I'll be bringing you my quick take on the Boylan Belvidere North showdown last weekend. Also, too, I'll be bringing you my Bailey Pod. Yep, my Bailey Pod top performers of the week. And then my guest tonight, Belvidere North's star offense and defensive player, Erick Roman, is in the house tonight. But before we do that, you know the procedure. I'll let you go ahead and get a glass of water, a Coke, whatever you prefer, and come on back and let's get ready for the Bailey Pod. Yes, and we're back again. Thanks for joining the Bailey Pod. This is our fourth edition of the Bailey Pod this football season. Make sure you guys go follow, go like the Bailey Pod. You can find us via YouTube every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Via YouTube. Again, remember, just go follow, go like, and remember, last but not least, click that bell in the bottom right-hand corner so you guys can be notified of all new great content that we'll be dropping throughout the week. I'm just going to go ahead and move forward, just get right into the show. Last Friday night, there was a big game over in Belvidere North, Boylan. I had an opportunity to cover that game. That was my assignment game for the overtime. Definitely a great atmosphere over there at Belvidere North. But I'm going to start with my take. Belvidere North is as advertised, folks. I mean, I'm being honest. They are as advertised. They have great line play, no question. They have great backs, no question. Even I saw decent quarterback play from Belvidere North on Friday night, believe it or not. Yeah, they are as advertised. They play well together. They were able to slow that Boylan offense down. What they were able to do on offense was nothing short of phenomenal. They have some of the premier backs in the league in Roman and Booker, my estimation. And what they did Friday night of shutting the Titans down as the Titans came to town, again, was nothing short of phenomenal. So, again, I tip my hat off to Belvidere North. Congratulations on the big victory over Boylan. As it relates to Boylan, there's something missing. There's something missing offensively and defensively, and I'm not sure what it is. Most would say skills. They're missing skill players. Rasheed Johnson, gone. Donovan Hansard, gone. Some key playmakers that they had last year, even Austin Alonso, gone. Connor Dennis at quarterback, gone. Those guys are gone. But usually when you graduate players, you have to be able to reload to be able to compete the following year. This year they have a sophomore quarterback, Cacciatore at quarterback. He's not the most mobile kid. He's going to be good, folks. He's going to be a good player. He just needs time. He's only a sophomore. He's going to get better as the weeks progress. He's going to get better as the years go on. He's only a sophomore. So let's give this young man just some type of credit because, again, to be able to go in and play as a sophomore on the varsity level in a tumultuous environment like Belvidere North, that's tough to ask a sophomore quarterback to go in and actually, rally your team back from a 14, 21-point deficit. That's tough. In other areas where Boylan just really needs to improve, the defensive backs need to improve. I mean, there were times when the ball was in the air and, instead of playing the ball, they played the man. So there was opportunities for Boylan to capitalize on, some mistakes that Belvidere North made offensively. Belvidere North did not play a flawless game. Make no mistake of that. They just executed when they had the ball. They executed on defense by shutting Boylan's offense down. That was really the only true thing that Boylan didn't do well that Belvidere North did well. So, again, my take, is there more time for Boylan to get their act together and really make a run? Yeah, there's time. They got some teams left on their schedule. Boylan's schedule left as follows. They got homecoming this Friday. They play Belvidere. They go on the road to Auburn. They go on the road to Hononegro. That's going to be a tough one. And then they play Harlem at home, and then they got the Vikings at home. So do I think they can win outright? No, I'm not saying they can win outright, but I do think a few of these games that have left on their schedule are winnable games. They just have to come out, a different Boylan team than what we saw last Friday against Belvidere North. Let's go ahead and move on to our top performers of the week, our Bailey Pod top performers of the week. Let's go ahead and start with Jamani Muhammad. Jamani Muhammad, Harlem, 135 on the ground, 3 TDs in their big W over Jefferson. Sebastian Bracius, 11 of 14 passing, 171 in the air, 1 TD. Erick Roman, our guest tonight, he's back there waiting, folks. Belvidere North, 94 yards on the ground, 5 carries, 1 TD. Zaire Lee, East High School, 152 on the ground, 26 carries, 2 TDs. His partner in crime, Tayshawn Whitty for East, 15 carries, 123 on the ground, and 1 TD. LaShawn, am I saying this right? LaShawn Gathright, Jefferson, 330 on the ground, 35 carries, 5 TDs. Folks, this young man is nothing short of sensational. That's a fact. And then last but not least, Ben Booker, sidekick here of our guest tonight, and Erick Roman, B North, 94 yards on the ground, 5 carries and a TD. These young men have been nothing short of sensational all season long. Again, we had seven this week make the list. Again, you perform, you'll make the list. You don't perform, well, you know the rule. You won't make the list. I'm going to go ahead and move forward. I'm going to bring in our guest tonight. This young man has actually done a phenomenal job this season and last season on both sides of the ball. He is the running back, linebacker for Belvidere North. You can catch him scoring touchdowns, making tackles. He wears number 20 for Belvidere North. My guest tonight, Erick Roman. Erick, how you doing, buddy?
I'm great, man. How are you doing, man?
Good, man. I see that jersey in the back there. Is that something that I
Yeah.
could borrow from you one day for the show?
Hey, maybe after I'm done, playing high school football, maybe I can give it to you.
All right. Okay. All right. I'm gonna hold you to that. No, Erick, thanks for joining me, man. I really appreciate you joining me tonight on the Bailey Pod. I just want to dive right into the show, man. You guys are 4-0, coming off a big victory last weekend over the Titans at home. What do you think helped you guys prepare to beat Boylan the way you did Friday night? What were some of the things that you guys did during the week to prepare for that game?
I mean, personally, I think it's, on Mondays, we start off with the game plan, and then we walk out, we go through it. And then Tuesdays and Wednesdays are actually our work days. So when you run through the plays that they run over and over and over, and you see how they run it, you stop over and over. So once you get to the game, it's pretty easy to stop it. So, that's what we did in practice. And I think that's why we were successful on Friday night.
What was I know, after a big win like that, coaches always, rally the guys up before you guys, leave the locker room. And I'm pretty sure Coach Beck, told you guys, relish this moment, but, we still have work left to do here in the conference. What was that conversation like after the game from Coach in the locker room?
Well, after we won the game, it was, back down to earth. It was always the next week. He gave us the weekend to enjoy it, and we enjoyed beating Boylan, obviously, but it's just the next game. Boylan's a great team, but we always got to move on. We have better goals to be in mind, so that's all it is.
Sure. You've had some success this year again on both sides of the ball. Talk a little bit about your preparation, because again, you don't see too many two-way players that are standout players as you are. Making splashes on offense and defense. Speak to that. Is that due to your conditioning? What helps you play so well as you have been, particularly this year, on both sides of the ball?
Well, I think there's two things. I think one is mindset and one is film study. So every time I go into a game, whatever game it is, it could be the state, finals, or it could be the first game of the season. I'm thinking it's my last game, it's my last snap every single time. So I'm gonna try my absolute hardest to do what it takes, be successful on that down. But also in film, I study their players. I study what they do. I study how they run, how they do it, what their attitude is. I study everything they do. So I see everything they do before the game. So I know how it's going to be.
So would you consider yourself, if I'm hearing you correctly, would you consider yourself a student of the game?
For sure. I mean, that's probably some of the reason why I was all conference last year. I know what defense are going to be running. I know their tendencies, and I know the game plan very well. So when it comes to Friday night, it's pretty easy to know what they're running.
So Eric, you've been on fire since week one. So you play against Guilford at Guilford. You guys pulverized Guilford in that big victory in week one. And your partner in crime, Booker, he had a great game too, and you guys have both been on fire really since week one. Some would argue and say, you guys are probably the best duo in the backfield in the Nick 10. Speak to you and his relationship.
I mean, we honestly we share reps, and it's every time I come out there, just tell him, hey, just go out there and just be you and go make a big play. That's what we tell each other every time. Even after we score, we always go up. We treat each other with respect. We just play the game like we always have. I started playing with Ben when I was like in sixth grade, and it's all positive, man.
That's good. That's good, man. I like that because again, you look at Smith and the other young man over at excuse me, not Belvidere, but over at Hananiga, you know, and Anderson. That's the young man's name, Smith and Anderson. I've had a chance to see those two play as well. And right now, in my estimation, I think the top two running games in the conference are you and Hananiga. And I know you've probably seen some film on Hananiga. But I know you guys play Hananiga here in the next few weeks. But in my estimation, I think, and many would argue, but I think you guys have one of the better backfields, top three for sure, backfields in the conference. Talk to me a little bit about Tapia. Tapia's his first year starting at quarterback. He did some phenomenal things in the passing game for you guys over the weekend. You don't usually see that many passes coming from a run dominant team as Belvidere North. When he got his number called, how was he in the huddle? When he got his number called, when he had his time to shine, so to speak. Can you talk to that?
Yeah, I mean, Nick, he sat out all his junior season, and on JV, he was actually a pretty good player. So I think he was just waiting for the moment. He's pretty much a leader on the field. Coach Beck lets him call some plays on the field, and he was just calm, cool, collected. Because we've been through this in practice. We practice every situation in practice for the game, so it's really easy in the game. So when his number got called, he was pretty calm. He just threw the ball, and then what happened next.
So do you think right now? I mean, have you guys played your best game on offense yet this year, or is there more still left in the tank?
No, I don't think we played our best. I think if we can sharpen up a little bit, because we fumbled the ball I think twice against Boylan, and I think you go back to that Freeport game, we fumbled the ball like five times or five turnovers or something like that. If we can just stay sharp, stay disciplined like we were against Guilford, I think would be a very hard offensive stop. I don't think we have played our best, and Coach Beck says the same thing.
When you and Booker, when you guys get in open field, it seems like you guys have that another guy. I know Booker's a track guy. I believe you are too. Is that accurate? Track guys.
Yeah,
You both are
yeah,
track guys. Okay.
yes,
You
sir.
know, you guys are really good at getting to the second level. Who do usually backs are not able to get to the second level unless their O linemen are getting it done at the LOS at the line of scrimmage. What do you guys, particularly you, who do you credit your success to on the ground right now?
Well, part of it is honestly the option, and our blocks are phenomenal on the edge. The stock blocking that goes on is as I watched the film after the Boylan game, and I think you said it was also great. It was really good, and also our number nine Nolan Benny, he's actually done a great job blocking for us. Every play he's going 100% every play. It doesn't matter if it's first and 10 or fourth and one. He's going every play. So I think the blocking and part of the scheme, the scheme's kind of designed to like lead two guys on block, and we have more hats to block other people. So I think that's part of the why I can get to the second level so fast.
Yeah, you just alluded to stock blocking, and I very candidly, openly stated that on the show Overtime the other night. Giving your receivers kudos because that's sometimes I think that's something that's missing in our game. A lot of people don't pay attention to how guys are blocking downfield, particularly the receivers. They don't get a lot of credit for that as they should. But you know, speak to that. I've seen you guys play 3 times this year, and every time I've seen you guys play, you're correct. you and Book are able to spring yourselves due to the stock blocking that's going on downfield. Is that accurate?
I mean, yes, yeah, it is. I mean, it's really hard. I don't think a lot of high school kids, want to stock block. They're not really getting the ball, but I think our discipline and doing what it is best for the team and not necessarily best for you is what it takes. It's for the team and it's an effort. It's an effort thing. It's a discipline thing. And when you have a premium at it, that's when you can have the big plays. Some of the big plays me and Ben make, I give the credit to the stock box on the edge because they're just phenomenal, man.
Yeah, they are. I mean, nothing short of that. That's for sure. And it's interesting because again, you and Ben. I mean, yeah, you and Ben are strong guys. You guys can usually, shed a tackle, elude a defender if need be. But again, just giving credit where credit is due. To the not just the offensive lineman, but also to those guys out there. Line up at receiver and line up inside for you guys that are actually getting those big blocks downfield to allow you guys to have those what I call those home run hits. Those 60, 70-yard runs as you guys have had this year. So, let's pivot here a little bit. Let's talk about defense. I know you guys are second in points allowed, on defense. You know, you guys seem to, and correct me if I'm wrong, you guys seem to be clicking really well defensively. You guys don't make a lot of mistakes defensively. I'm seeing all 11 hats to the ball each and every play. No guys are dogging it. Speak to your defensive strengths and how are you guys able to slow that Boylan offense down?
I mean, like I said, in practice, we actually practice running to the ball, and then Coach Fagan says that's going to be our identity for the rest of the season. Like no one runs to the ball like we do. All 11 hats must be to the ball every single play. So in practice, we practice it, and in game, it just becomes easy, man. I mean, no one takes the plays off. I tell my defense, you rather watch the play be made or you make the play, and I think that fuels them a lot. And I know that's how our defense was able to do it, last Friday night.
Sure. You know, and again, you guys, Boylan got, let's just keep it real. Boylan got garbage points, I think, in the late third, early fourth quarter. That's when they started to score all their points. And I'm pretty sure you guys had probably had some guys that didn't have a lot of playing time, games prior that were in those games. Um, you know, let's stay on defense. I mean, again, you're one of the leading tacklers on defense, and you play that linebacker position well. You're able to run sideline to sideline. I mean, I watch you guys, and what are some of your strengths as a linebacker that allows you to go out and have the type of games that you've had over the last 4 weeks?
I would say my mindset by far and my technique. Like I said, every time I go into the game, I play every down that's my last down, and I'm gonna show my opponent that I'm not gonna quit. I'm coming at you every play, and I'm gonna use great technique as I do it. So I think my strength is also my athleticism. Coming from being a running back, I can also run sideline to sideline. I'm not just downhill, and I know what you're running. So it's kind of like a thing that's like my mindset. I know I have a pretty, I think I have a pretty small, like not small, pretty big football IQ. So I know down and distance, I know tendencies. So I think my athleticism and my mind is most likely my strength for sure.
Sure. You know, we're gonna say with defense, but your secondary. Speak a little bit about your secondary because again, I've seen you guys play a few times this year already, and your defensive backs are probably some of the best defensive backs in my estimation in the league. Tell me how you guys communicate out there on the field because they're told to keep everything in front of them, let nothing get behind you. How do they have your back and how do you have their back when it comes to Friday nights?
Well, in practice, we say DBs do their thing and linebackers and D line take care of the rest, or they do their thing. So basically, what that means is DBs stay back, defend the pass, stay on top of everything, keep everything in front of you, and then make a pick when the ball gets thrown the wrong way. But what we handle is what we handle on the ground. We handle the box, we handle everything like that. So that correlation is it's a trusting thing. So they take care of the coverages, and I just listen to what coverages they're in, and I know what I'm supposed to do. But mainly the box is where I play and where the linebackers and D line play. They don't really worry about the box too much unless it's like running their way and it's a pretty big play.
Sure. You guys again, you're 4-0, and you guys play 0-14 this weekend in Jefferson. Looks like it's a home game for you guys. You guys are at home again. What do you guys want to come out and do Friday night that you probably didn't do Friday this past weekend against Boylan?
I think every week we should be getting better. After each Monday, it's not about what we did good in the game. It's what mistakes we did and how we can get better. So I hope to cleaning up on offense, cleaning up on defense. Have a dominant game, and I think the score will take care of itself. I even though Jefferson's 0-4, they've had some pretty close games, and they have some players on their team. The Sean Gathard,
Absolutely.
35 carries, like 440 yards.
Dude's a beast.
Phenomenal game.
That dude's a
He's a
beast.
beast. So we have to stop
Yep.
what they do. So that's
Right.
that's what it comes
Right.
down to.
You just alluded to something here a second ago. You know, you mentioned that Jefferson's a good team, but and you guys you just also too alluded to that you guys the goal is just to get better each and every week, get better each and every week. Have you guys gotten better in every facet every week, or is it a couple facets here you've improved in, a couple facets here you've improved in, or has it been in all facets where you've actually seen where you've actually seen actual weekly improvement?
Wow, I think from coming off a big win from Guilford, those 2 weeks after that, it was a really big shocker. Like big win at Guilford, we shut them out. It was all this like there's nothing really negative about it, and then we get to Freeport. First half we did pretty good, and then all of a sudden, all these fumbles came, and it was a big shocker to us. And I think that put it in our brains like we're not invincible here. Like let's not get complacent. We need to still study film and get actually better. So I think overall our pad level has gotten way better than it did before, and our communication at the second and third level have gotten a lot better.
Sure. So again, 0-4 Jefferson comes to town Friday. And sometimes when teams are coming off a huge win like you guys are against Boylan, and now you guys are 4-0. You guys may have an opportunity to really run the table. I know you still have Hananiga left, you have Harlem left, and I'm not discounting any other teams that you have left on your schedule, but I'm talking about some of the upper echelon teams, as I just mentioned, in Harlem and then Hananiga. Sometimes players can sometimes take a week off and not practice as hard as they should. Is that something that coach has emphasized all week to you guys? Hey guys, you know don't pay attention to the record just because they're 0-4. Doesn't mean that they're not a good team. What has some of his conversation been with you guys, Coach Beck? That is, what has some of his conversation been with you guys all week, so you guys don't get complacent?
Well, like I said, it's about getting better every week, and even though they're 0-4, I still think they're a pretty good team. Looking in the past, Jefferson hasn't been at the top of the conference, but I think this year they're probably one of the better teams in the conference that have had losses around really close games. With the good teams, Boylan and Harlem, that was some close games, and I think him saying don't get complacent, even though we're 4-0, they're still a really good team, and if we get complacent, the tables could turn.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And again, you guys are really playing at a really high clip right now. I mean, I've seen Hananiga play. I've seen all the top teams play. And again, my estimation, you guys are right up there in the top two teams in the conference. Again, I like what you guys do offensively, and what you guys have been displaying, since week one has been nothing short of sensational. And I think you guys have a clear shot. I'm just sitting here looking at your schedule now. You guys got Jefferson this weekend. You got Belvidere, which is down the road, and then you guys got East, and then you guys got Hano on the 18th of October, and then you close out the season on the 25th of October 25th with Harlem at Harlem. Where do you want to be? October 25th. Where do you want to be standing in terms of record? Should be an easy one for you.
I mean, I think anyone would tell you they want to be at the top of the conference, but we just need to take it week by week and see how it goes. I just want to get better, and I just want
What
to
do
be at
you?
the top of the conference. I mean,
So what do you? So when you say you want to be at the top of the conference, that could be one or two. Where do you guys? Again, you guys have a schedule here that I think you guys could clearly potentially run the table. If all guys stay healthy and you guys continue to raise your game each and every week as you have. But that game on the 25th. I mean, where do you wish to be? Is it you want to be an undefeated team? Where do you what do you see as Erick Roman, and what does your teammates see? Where do you guys want to be on 10-25? I
we
mean, it's
want to
easy.
be undefeated for sure. I mean, no loss. We want to beat every team.
Right, right. But what does it take? What do you think it's going to take for you guys to be able to run the table these next 5 weeks? What is it going to take?
I think it's just going to take discipline and actually studying the game plan and studying film and doing all the little things right that no one really wants to do. I think it's going to be discipline that's going to be the deciding factor. We're versing Jefferson this week, and I think discipline's going to be the deciding factor. Practice has been pretty good today. It was a little rough yesterday, but we just can't get complacent, and I think that's going to be our rule to
When you
success. If we are disciplined,
Eric,
yeah, go ahead.
you just alluded to something. You said rough. Practice was a little bit rough this week in terms of what? What do you mean by that rough?
I mean, yesterday, we messed up some things that we don't usually mess up, but today we honestly fixed them. And it's a thing about getting better. It's about running to the football. Even though it's Jefferson, we can't take this team lightly.
Right, right. So Eric, we're gonna close here in a second. Again, you've had a lot of success ever since you were a sophomore on the varsity level, and a lot of people don't know that you're only a junior. So we got another year of you, which is I'm happy to see another year of you. But how have you progressed on the varsity level since you stepped on the varsity level as a sophomore? How have you grown? How have you matured mentally, physically? That's allowing you to really play at this clip that you're playing at right now, because I am seeing a different Erick Roman this year compared to last year. Before we close here, give the viewers just a little synopsis of how you've been able to just progress since your sophomore year to where you are now.
I mean, I actually stepped on the field, the varsity football field, when I was a freshman. And having that experience, I didn't really. The mental game is honestly on a different level. You have to know so many things. You have to know all these checks, these coverages, the plays, and having that experience from being a freshman. I just hit the ground running my sophomore year, and I knew basically everything. I studied, my butt off, my freshman year, and then this year is just the same thing. I'm more relaxed. I know more what's going on. I know, I'm just more relaxed and everything comes easy now. But I did the hard work,
Sure.
when I was a little bit younger, for sure.
Sure. Good, man. Well, hey, Eric, man. Hey, it was great having you joining me on the Bailey Pod this evening. I hope you guys the very best as you guys move forward to the conference for the next 5 weeks. Most of all, stay healthy, stay focused, and good things to happen, man. Again, appreciate you coming out on the Bailey Pod.
Yeah,
Eric,
thank you, man. It was great.
appreciate you, man. Good luck to you. Well, yeah, folks, there you have it. Another great edition of the Bailey Pod coming to a close. Again, I'll tell you, it definitely was a good game last week, Boylan and Belvidere North. And the gentleman I just got off with, he's been playing at a really high clip. I think he's going to continue to do it. I have no doubts about that. He's really tough, mentally strong, physically strong, and definitely a true leader. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Again, hey, be good and always know you can always better your best. Thanks for joining me tonight.